for 25 years, Kar Sevaks and the Sangh's firebrand leaders have been hunted by the law in the aftermath of the Babri Masjid demolition. All this time, Muslims have been thought primarily to be the victims. And when you look at the checkered history, that would be vindicated. But tonight, the narrative will change. How will that happen? How will that happen? Let me bring up the hard facts up front. As always, on the show, we will today be exposing Babri's main petitioner, who has admitted to killing, slaying Kar Sevaks on December 6th, 1992. Hard fact 2. Haji Mehboob claims he heard bombs in self-defense. Startlingly, claims Mulayam Singh gave him a clean chit in cases under the terror law that were filed against him. Now listen to Haji Mehboob as he makes the sensational admission on Times Now, which points to a massive communal cover-up, an appeasement that goes beyond words, an appeasement of not just the law and Hindu sentiment, but also, most importantly, a betrayal of jurisprudence.
जो कानून बनाने की बात कह रहे हैं, अगर वैसा हुआ तो
क्या हो, बनाए, फिर उसका जवाब उस वक्त क्या होगा, ये तो हम आप नहीं समझते ना, ये वक्त बताएगा कि हम क्या कर सकते हैं। मैं तो कहता हूँ, मैं बड़ी बोल तो नहीं बोलता हूँ, सन 92 में 6 लाख की भीड़ थी अयोध्या में। आपकी उम्र कितनी रही होगी उस जमाने में?
15 साल।
6 लाख की भीड़ थी, ये लोग जानते बैठे हैं। मैंने 2.5 घंटे बम चलवाए थे उस जमाने में।
2.5 घंटे
बम चलवाए थे।
अच्छा।
यही अयोध्या में चलवाया हूँ। अच्छा। वरना मैं बचता भी नहीं। ये खिड़कियाँ देख रहे हैं? हाँ। खोलिए। हाँ। अब अभी इसकी देखिए साख टेढ़ी है। ये पूरा इलाका, वो पूरा मकान मेरा गिरा दिया गया था। लेकिन अगर कर्फ्यू न लगता और प्रेसिडेंट रूल न लगता, हो सकता मैं न बचता। लेकिन उस जमाने में हाजी महबूब ने किसी को बख्शा नहीं था। तब 302 का मैं मुलजिम बना था।
अच्छा
जी, मैं 302 का मुलजिम था। या तो जब मुलायम सिंह की हुकूमत आई है तो देखा हमसे ज़्यादा लोग हिंदू भाई उसमें इन्वॉल्व थे, इसलिए मुकदमे सब उठा दिए गए, तब मैं बचा हूँ। वरना अगर सबूत होता तो सलाखों के पीछे में आज मेरी ज़िंदगी गुजर जाती।
Now, this is not all. Several eyewitnesses have testified to Haji's terror. That's right. Several of them have come forward. Eyewitness accounts have been captured in a top journal called the Manushi. And here is the article, ladies and gentlemen. I have this right here in my hand. Manushi, the followers of Godse by Shrika Trivedi. This is an article that has come out. It has been there for years altogether, and it has been around now for all to read on the web. And in this article, which looks at the aftermath of the Babri Masjid demolition in Ayodhya, this contributor, Shikha Trivedi, comes out and makes a sensational claim. She says once she went to this area, she went to where Haji Mehboob lived, she came across evidence. And she writes, and I quote, Tedi Bazaar is the mohalla from where the rioting in Ayodhya really began, and all the Hindus of the town to one man accused Haji Mehboob, the local head of the Babri Masjid Action Committee, for it. Haji Mehboob's house is located on the outskirts of the Basti, overlooking one of the main roads leading up to the disputed site, which was constantly used by the Kar Sevaks. According to those who hold him responsible for starting the violence, which includes everyone from the local journalists to the mahants and shopkeepers, Haji Mehboob fired a round of bullets threw a bomb on a procession of car sevaks on the evening of December 6th, killing 1 to 5 of them. There you can see in the last page, the last line. We'll press the continue button on that graphic, and there you can see it, a bomb on a procession of car sevaks on the evening of December 6th, killing 1/5 of them. There are differing accounts on how many people died. Now let me once again play out Haji Mehmoob's admission to Times Now. The Journal of Proof is on your screens. The admission will be played out now. Notice the similarities. This journalist traveled to Ayodhya, to Faizabad, went down to this locality, came up with the facts that she put in this article. And it's exactly how Haji Mehboob recounts it to Times Now. Can't be a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. This is therefore perhaps a confession. Listen in.
जो कानून बनाने की बात कह रहे हैं, अगर वैसा हुआ तो
क्या हो, बनाए। फिर उसका जवाब उस वक्त क्या होगा, ये तो हम आप नहीं समझते ना। ये वक्त बताएगा कि हम क्या कर सकते हैं। मैं तो कहता हूँ, मैं बड़ी बोल तो नहीं बोलता हूँ। सन 92 में 6 लाख की भीड़ थी अयोध्या में। आपकी उम्र कितनी रही होगी उस जमाने में?
15 साल।
6 लाख की भीड़ थी, ये लोग जानते बैठे हैं। मैंने 2.5 घंटे बम चलवाए थे उस जमाने में।
2.5 घंटे
बम चलवाए थे।
अच्छा।
यही अयोध्या में चलवाया हूँ।
अच्छा।
वरना मैं बचता भी नहीं। ये खिड़कियाँ देख रहे हैं?
हाँ।
खोलिए। हाँ। अब इसकी अभी इसकी देखिए साख टेढ़िए। ये पूरा इलाका, वो पूरा मकान में गिरा दिया गया था। लेकिन अगर कर्फ्यू न लगता और प्रेसिडेंट रूल न लगता, हो सकता मैं न बचता। लेकिन उस जमाने में हाजी महबूब ने किसी को बख्शा नहीं था। तब 302 का मैं मुलजिम बना था।
अच्छा
जी, मैं 302 का मुलजिम था यार। तो जब मुलायम सिंह की हुकूमत आई है तो देखा हमसे ज़्यादा लोग हिंदू भाई उसमें इन्वॉल्व थे। इसलिए मुकदमे सब उठा दिए गए, तब मैं बचा हूँ। वरना अगर सबूत होता तो सलाखों पीछे में आज मेरी जिंदगी गुजर जाती।
Now, one would have thought that after such an admission, after the existence of so many eyewitnesses, a case would have been filed and Haji Mehboob might have even been in jail. Never happened. In 1992, apparently a case was registered. There's no independent confirmation, because when we went to the police station, the local police station, and checked their records, there has never been a case filed. So there were eyewitnesses that were disregarded, and of course, most importantly, there were individuals from the establishment, the police, etc., that took no action. Why? We'll have to ask, of course, the Samajwadi Party, the BSP, because at that time they were in power. Yes, both of them, believe it or not, were together in power in 1993 when the Babri Masjid came down. Now, Haji was not just let off in 1992, as we just showed you on that full-frame graphic breaking. A case was also filed against the Haji in 1999. A full 7 years later, several IPC sections were slapped against him. You can see those books. That's the ledger where cases are registered by the local police. The closure report was filed in the 1999 case also. So 2 let-offs, serious offenses under the IPC. I want to go across to Amir Haq, who has traveled to the area police station, the Ram Janambhoomi police station there, is how locally it's referred to. He spoke to the officials, looked up the case records. We have photographs of him there, which we will play out also, so that no one can claim that this was some plant. Now, Amit, what did you find out? Did you find any traces of the 1992 case that involved Haji bombing car sevaks, firing on them? Number one. Number two, once you found the 1999 case, what did the police tell you? What happened to that case?
Well, Rahul, we investigated at length and we went through and we sifted through all the police records from 1992 till now as far as Haji Mehboob is concerned.
Yes.
But we actually could not find, pointed details about the kind of incident that he's mentioning over there in our sting operation.
Yes.
About throwing bombs at car sevaks and hitting out at them using his gun in that particular area where the entire incident played out on 6th of December 1992.
You're saying that no case was lodged in 1992. Okay, stay on with me. Stay on with me. This is getting interesting. Arvind Sawant, Shiv Sena MP, joins us. Sir, what we have exposed today is a serious turn in this entire Babri Masjid long-running saga for 25 years. What Times Now has exposed is that the main petitioner, Haji Mehboob, fired upon individuals by his own admission. We are not saying anything. He is admitting to it on candid camera, secretly recorded camera. He's saying, I threw bombs for 2.5 hours, fired on Kar Sevaks, and I did not spare anyone. Yet no case was registered against him. Some people say a case was registered, but it was buried. And also, in 1999, a case was registered, which was closed. Sir, what do you make of this? How do you react?
I think it should be opened immediately now, as he is confessing right in front of the camera. And the people who were saying that the only incident of a demolition of Babri Masjid is there, but nobody thought of a reaction after that. The reaction was then done by that Haji, what is his name? Haji, I think.
Haji Mehboob.
Haji Mehboob, he has done it. And he is confessing in front of a camera. I don't know what the police was doing after so many years.
But sir, the only way this will happen,
he has done it.
The case can only be revisited if someone makes a noise at the level of the parliament, sir. You must take up this case in parliament. Otherwise, it will be buried forever.
Tomorrow is the final day. We will try my level best to raise the issue. Tomorrow is the last day of the parliament, sir.
Yes.
I cannot go for an adjournment motion. I cannot go. I will try my level best to raise the issue as soon as the parliament starts.
Okay. So we will be coming to you in the morning to take your soundbite on this. Arvind Sawant of the Shiv Sena coming out and saying that he's going to try his level best on a day when the private members' bills really are slated for discussion to raise this issue. But it's a massive turn.
There tomorrow. I don't think it will be. I mean, tomorrow is the concluding day of the parliament.
Okay.
And let us see what best I can do.
Do try, sir. Do try. At least do try.
Surely I'll try, sir.
Yes.
Surely I'll try.
Ayodhya killer let off. That's our hashtag. Tell us what you think about this story. Thank you, Arvind Sawantji. Thank you for speaking to me. But a massive turn in this case. I'm going back to Amir Haq. Amir, you were there at that police station. You have also found that there was a case filed in 1999. Serious charges were also slapped against Haji Mehboob. There you can see Amir Haq there discussing with the police the details of this case, but nothing happened even in that case. Amir.
Well, yes, absolutely. And, it seems that both these cases are actually related because the 99 case, there are actually very serious charges which have been slapped on him, from dacoity to, trespass to issuing death threats to people out there. And remember, strangely, this has happened with a madrasa owner over there in the same Ram Janmabhoomi area where we went to investigate and find out the details about the case that he is, claiming to have been involved into. And although, on the candid camera conversation that we had with him, he's clearly admitting that around the time that Samajwadi Party government was in power here, all such cases have actually been wiped out. So perhaps, as far as many other people that we spoke to over there also vouched that there are cases pending against him, but somehow most of these people also think that all such cases have actually been removed from there. The police has somehow, done the vanishing act as far as these case files is concerned. And so perhaps we could not lay our hands on all such case files. But Rahul, let me tell you that we will not stop at that. We'll go into, we'll delve further into this case, and perhaps we'll find out the roots of where exactly all such cases have actually been concealed. Okay,
so you have a situation where a case was filed in 1999. The 1992 case of firing allegedly on car sevaks. Now, car sevaks have gone to jail. One side, the Hindu side, has found itself being hounded for almost 25 years. Yes, those that are responsible for the demolition of the Babri Masjid must answer for their sins. No doubt about that. But there were others. On the other side, you've had a large amount of violence, communal violence. So far, the focus has not been on them. And the main petitioner in this Babri Masjid case is coming out and very clearly saying that I killed car sevaks. Remember, Mulayam Singh Yadav has also said similarly. And I have many statements by him where he says that yes, even I have killed car sevaks in 1990 because the situation so demanded, and I will do it again. Now, why? Why is it that only one side has paid, and this very important individual, this litigant, the principal litigant, remember there are only 3 litigants in the Babri Masjid case. One of them is this individual who is quite intransigent and has held up also a consensus over the Babri Masjid and Ram Mandir reconstruction. So you have a situation where he has been charged also in 1999. The case, however, somehow slides into a closure. Nothing happens. What were the charges? House trespass for causing intentional hurt, wrongful confinement, robbery, intentional insult to provoke breach of peace, criminal intimidation. 5 very serious charges. What happened to that case? Disappears into ether, closed. This man seems to be living a charmed life, or at least some people think he must not be tried. Why? Has appeasement led to a betrayal of Hindu sentiment? That's the question that one needs to ask, along with several others. If Haji Mehboob was spotted throwing bombs, why didn't the police book him under the anti-terror laws? Why were witness accounts overlooked by the then Mulayam Maya government? Remember, it was not just Mulayam Singh in government, it was also Mayawati. It was a coalition. Was the case against Haji Mehboob smothered at the altar of appeasement politics? And has that affected the trajectory of this story? Thanks indeed, Amit, for giving us that. We'll come back to you in just a few moments because there is another surprising twist in the tale which we will report in just a few moments. But I want to throw this open. Joining me this evening, Gaurav Bhatia of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Sandeep Mahapatra of the RSS, Colonel R.S.N. Singh, author and strategic affairs expert, Mahmood Paracha, senior lawyer, Alimuddin Khan, political analyst, and a Congress sympathizer. Also with us, Devashri Jararia, member of the BSP. We are also expecting Ravi Das Mehrotra of the Samajwadi Party. He is there with us. And मैं आपसे पूछूंगा, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Mehrotra, did your party, sir, shield an individual who is today confessing 25 years later that he killed Hindu car sevaks? And why?
देखिए, हम लोग ये चाहते हैं कि बाबरी मस्जिद या राम मंदिर का निर्माण समझौते से हो या कोर्ट के आदेश पर हो, और 25 साल पहले वहां पर बलपूर्वक बाबरी मस्जिद का ढांचा गिराया गया था और 25 साल से मुकदमा चल रहा है, कोई फैसला नहीं आया। इससे पहले भी कोर्ट में केस चल रहा था और कोर्ट में, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में केस चलते हुए जो है वो बाबरी मस्जिद गिरा दी गई थी। तो मेरा ये मानना है कि मस्जिद या मंदिर का निर्माण या तो आपस में तय होकर के हो या सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला हो।
To hear a sermon, sir. I don't want to hear a sermon. I have asked you a direct question. Why did you shield Haji Mehboob? He is saying it. He said Mulayam Singh has saved me. Why? He's killed car sevaks. He's saying it. There are eyewitness reports, sir. There is even an article here by Shikha Trivedi, Manushi. And it's there in my hand. Followers of Godse, the aftermath of the Babri Masjid demolition in Ayodhya. And she has written, Shikha Trivedi, who has been documenting the events in Ayodhya for the last 3 years, described the mayhem that followed in Ayodhya after the demolition. And she singles out this individual. I am not making this up. We can put out the graphic on the screen. She says, Tehri Bazaar is the mohalla from where rioting in Ayodhya really began. And all the Hindus of the town look to one man, accuse Haji Mehboob, the local head of the Babri Masjid Action Committee, for it. Haji Mehboob's house is located on the outskirts of the Basti, overlooking one of the main roads leading up to the disputed site, which was constantly used by the Karsevaks, according to those who hold him responsible for starting the violence, which include everyone, not one or two people, everyone. Local journalists to the monks and shopkeepers, Haji Mehboob fired a round of bullets through a bomb on a procession of Karsevaks on the evening of December 6th, killing 1 or 5 of them, depending on who you speak to. And he's confessing to it, sir. Why did you let him off? रविदास जी, आपने उनको क्यों छोड़ दिया, क्यों बरी कर दिया, आपने चार्ज क्यों नहीं किया टेरर लॉज के नीचे?
नहीं, देखिए, हम लोगों ने पहले भी जब मुलायम सिंह जी मुख्यमंत्री थे उस समय भी ये प्रयास किया था और मुलायम सिंह के प्रयास से बाबरी मस्जिद बच गई थी। उस वक्त भी कोर्ट का आदेश था और ये कहा था कि कोर्ट के आदेश का पालन कराना सरकार की जिम्मेदारी है। और उसके बाद
जिम्मेदारी बदली, you were also responsible, it was your duty to bring to justice, sir, those people who were accused of heinous crimes. This man was, yes. Gaurav Bhatia wants to come in on this. Gaurav Bhatia wants to come in. Mr. Jararia is also there of the BSP. He's a partner. They were all appeasing Muslims at that time. More bothered about vote bank politics than justice. Yes, Mr. Bhatia, go ahead.
Rahul, let me just explain the issue for you. The issue that is pending before the Honorable Supreme Court is a civil dispute regarding the title of the land. And Mr. Haji is one of the principal litigant in that matter. There is a principle that when a litigant comes before any court, he has to come with clean hands. And second, nobody can abuse the process of law. What we heard from Haji just now is shocking, because he himself makes an extrajudicial confession saying that for 2.5 hours on the fatal evening he was hurling bombs himself on Karsevaks. Now Karsevaks would have died also because of that activity. That actually attracts section 302, which is murdering a person, and for that reason also the case needs to be reopened. His role needs to be also investigated, and he should be booked for murder. It is a very, very serious charge. Second, this person has no respect for first the Supreme Court, because he also in his extrajudicial confession says that in case the ruling is not in the favor of himself, then he will not abide by the ruling of the Supreme Court. Does such a litigant who's only there because he hopes that he will get a favorable ruling will abide by it, and if it is unfavorable he will not abide by it, should be before the Supreme Court is a big question. Second, he also says if the Parliament,
Mr.
which
Bhatia,
is another temple of democracy,
this is
tries
the admission.
to bring a law,
the charge
then
is
he would not allow that. So here is a man who has no faith in the democratic structure, and he
I understand that, but listen, he says, I did not forgive anyone.
Human beings.
I was accused of attempt to murder.
Come in here now.
One second, Jararia Saab, I'm coming to you. Jararia Saab, I'm coming to you. 1 second. I did not forgive anyone. Pay attention to what he says. These are not my words. These are Haji Mehboob's words. 1 minute, Mr. Paracha. Calm down. Give me 30 seconds. Let me just read out the quote. You can come in wherever you want to come in. 1 minute. I did not forgive anyone. I was accused of attempt to murder. When Mulayam Singh came to power, we saw, then more than us. Who are the us? Muslims. Hindus were involved in it.
Yeah, he also enjoyed political patronage, Rahul.
That is why all cases were dissolved. If there was any evidence, I would have been behind bars.
1999 case that you are referring to, Rahul, has section 392 also, which attracts an imprisonment of 10 years.
So what happened? What happened? How come the police have no records?
It's very serious.
How come the police have no records? We went to the police station. We are being told that there was an SHO at that time called Shukla. And Shukla ji needs to be asked some direct questions. We have been trying to trace Shukla ji. We can't find him. Now I want to go across to Mr. Jararia. Mr. Jararia,
I must
appeasement blinded your government, your regime.
Of times now. And now it is the duty of the courts and the police to take on the case from these revelations and book the guilty. Book Haji as well as the police officers who are complicit in destroying important
The whole
documents.
character of the case could have changed had Haji Mehboob been booked for terrorism. That's the basic point I'm trying to make.
First of all,
Historic injustice.
Let me comment one thing.
Jararia साहब,
समय का पहिया आगे जाता है, टाइम्स नाउ का समय का पहिया पीछे जा रहा है.
क्यों नहीं?
कुछ दिनों पहले मैं यहाँ था, तब समझौता एक ब्लास्ट चल रहा था.
क्यों नहीं सर? क्यों नहीं?
25 साल पुराना अयोध्या चल रहा है.
नहीं, क्यों नहीं? अयोध्या का केस सर कल, अयोध्या केस is coming up tomorrow. Babri Masjid title shoot is coming up tomorrow in the Supreme Court. They are not going to be going 25 years back in time.
आप जान लेते हैं तो मर्डर के लिए पहिया वक्त का पीछे भी जा सकता है to do justice.
My dear friend, Mr. Jajaria. मिस्टर जजरिया,
भाटिया जी को भी फिर थोड़ा पीछे जाना चाहिए और देखना चाहिए. कुछ समय पहले वो समाजवादी पार्टी के ही मेंबर थे और स्पोक पर्सन थे.
तो इससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है आप बताइए? मर्डर किसी का हुआ है उसमें जांच नहीं होनी चाहिए. वक्त का पहिया पीछे जाएगा और इंसाफ होगा तो वक्त का पहिए को पीछे जाना पड़ेगा.
अब आप बीजेपी में आ गए तो आप सब कुछ बोल रहे हैं. वेरी गुड सर.
अंतरात्मा की बात, यहाँ जस्टिस की बात है, कानून की बात है. अगर आप समझते हैं हाजी जी का बयान ठीक है तो आप उसको जस्टिफाई करिए.
ब्रेकिंग न्यूज कमिंग इन. वन सेकंड. ब्रेकिंग न्यूज कमिंग इन. मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट जस्टिफाई. Kailash Vijayvargiya coming out with some reactions. Let's listen in. Breaking news coming in on the show. Let's listen in. Big breaking news coming in. A reaction from member of parliament. Let's play it out.
और इस प्रकार के लोग जो समाज के लीडर बनकर अगर इस प्रकार की हिंसा करते हैं तो उन्हें बिल्कुल बर्दाश्त नहीं किया जा सकता. देखिए, पिछली सरकार ने प्रोटेक्शन दी, ये बहुत शर्म की बात है. और वो अगर स्वीकार कर रहे हैं तो ये तो और ज़्यादा चिंता की बात भी है कि ऐसे लोग सरकार में बैठे थे. पर अब इस प्रकार की पुनरावृत्ति नहीं होगी. ऐसे लोगों को उनकी हैसियत बता दी जाएगी. अब सरकार जो है वो काम करने वाली सरकार है.
वाली सरकार है. Will they reopen the case? That's the fundamental question. But Mr. Jararia, this is a serious problem. You can't get away by saying चक्का पीछे जा रहा है, चक्का आगे जा रहा है. Why don't you go and tell the Supreme Court?
There are so many issues in the country, sir. There are so many important issues in the country.
This is not an important issue. A matter of Hindu sentiment is not important.
Rahul, I'm baffled at the argument that is being given by the BSP.
You think these are not important issues?
I'd like to come
family
here.
members of the deceased should not get justice. That is what you're trying to say. I don't know what kind of...
Gentlemen, one at a time. Don't reduce this show to a fish market, please. One at a time. Now, one at a time.
Let me comment on this.
Alimuddin Khan. No, 1 second. Alimuddin Khan, calm down 1 second. One at a time. Let Jararia Sahab speak.
Justice मिलना चाहिए कि नहीं, ये आज मुद्दा है. किसी ने कहा मैंने बॉम्ब फेंके और लोगों की जान ली. क्या उस पर इन्वेस्टिगेशन होनी चाहिए कि नहीं?
आपके द्वारा तो मदद नहीं हुई कहीं समाजवादी से. समाजवादी से कहीं आपके द्वारा तो मदद नहीं कहीं.
समाजवादी पार्टी अगर गलत है तो समाजवादी पार्टी को क्वेश्चन करिए ना अलीमुद्दीन जी. आज आपके गठबंधन में साथ है तो उनको हक है कि वो किसी एक्यूज और मर्डरर को बचाएंगे.
मैं आपसे ये पूछ रहा हूँ, आप ही के माध्यम से तो मदद नहीं हुई थी कहीं इस आदमी की, जब समाजवादी पार्टी ने अगर मदद
No, 1 second. 1 second.
सुनिए,
Mr. Alimuddin Khan,
डिबेट को हल्का मत करिए. अलीमुद्दीन जी अपने
no attempt was made even by your government.
हाजी
1 second.
हाजी महमूद का कन्फेशन पे आपका क्या कहना है?
अगर आपको 1 लाख की भीड़ आज घेर लेगी, आप क्या करोगे?
No, Mr. Jajaria, 1 second. First of all, Mr. Jajaria, 1 second. Gentlemen, please.
और ये
gentlemen, I don't want this squabble to go on here. I'm breaking more news coming in, more reactions coming in on this story. Let's play out. More reactions coming in. Now, 1 second. Sakshi Maharaj, another member of parliament from the Bharatiya Janata Party, reacting. I would request the panelists to not speak over each other. I don't appreciate that, please. Let's break that reaction.
बम फेंकने वालों का, पत्थर फेंकने वालों का कश्मीर में क्या असर हो रहा है आप देख रही हैं. अगर वो बम फेंकेंगे तो असर वही होगा जो कश्मीर में हो रहा है.
Okay, Sakshi Maharaj, obviously angry, charged up, upset. Now I'm going straight across. And please don't interrupt Mr. Jajaria when he's speaking. Now, Mr. Jajaria, I've asked you a very simple question.
Yes, sir.
A man admits to doing something on the fateful day of December 6th. 1992.
First of all,
why did your government not book him, not charge him, not jail him?
Sir, first of all, I don't know the authenticity of these tapes. First of all.
What do you mean authenticity?
Second thing.
He's sitting there. He's speaking.
He's speaking that on coming on behalf of your tapes. He's speaking that 6 lakh car sevak. Angry car sevak.
If you don't believe
an angry car sevak is not car sevak. It's an angry mob. It's an angry mob. Okay. So what else happened? What you have said is totally one line of a whole chapter. When you are running the story of Ayodhya killer let off, please tell the country the whole truth of the total truth of the story. Bring all these chapters.
Sir,
bring all these chapters.
Okay.
Bring Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Bring Lal Krishna Advani.
Here is a journalist. Here is a journalist who has written for a magazine called Manushi, very respectable journal. What does she say? Tedi Bazaar is the mohalla from where the rioting in Ayodhya really began. All the Hindus of the town to one man accused Haji Mehboob, the local head of the Babri Masjid Action Committee, for it. So he was accused of being the instigator. Shikha Trivedi goes on to say that there is another side. The Muslims also cite the curious behavior of the station house officer of the Ram Janambhoomi police station, Shukla, on that day to strengthen their argument. Who says, and what was their argument? Their argument was that the Muslims are reluctant to accept the more popular theory, although they don't deny it outright either. They don't deny that Haji was out there throwing bombs. So you have a situation where some of these eyewitnesses who are from the Muslim community are saying, I don't know whether he fired the shot. But if he did, it must have been in self-defense. Self-defense, not, etc. All of that will be determined by a court of law. Why weren't charges framed? That's the fundamental question I'm asking. Mr. Paracha, could you explain, sir, was appeasement preventing these individuals from bringing to justice a man who could have been the reason for the riots? He could have sparked them off. At least that is one account. I'm not saying that I'm passing judgment. I'm only saying that a man is admitting that he was saved. What am I supposed to mean by that?
Rahul, legally speaking, what is being shown on your television is an extrajudicial confession for an unsolved murder. And if it is so, then FIR can be registered for that crime, because there is no limitation for registration of an FIR for an unsolved murder. There is no time limitation. Similarly, there are thousands of unsolved murders of Muslims across the country. Haji Mahmood and his supporters and everybody who supported him should be booked for murder. Similarly, all these thousands and thousands of murders cases against Muslims, Muslims who were murdered, those should also be opened.
Give another example which is not on record. Is there any extrajudicial confession of any person saying that he has killed a Muslim?
As a country,
today in today's debate, is there any other extrajudicial confession that needs to be discussed, Mr. Pracha? Let's confine the debate to the extrajudicial confession made by Mr. Haji Mehboob, where he himself clearly admits that he had heard bombs and around 5 car sevaks were killed. Every human life is important. He is a murderer of humanity. And then why do we have to equate it with some statement which is not on record?
Arey sir,
so then let that come out in the open.
Let those cases come out. If you know such cases, no, 1 second. You can't today, you can't today bring up and two wrongs and say they will make a right. No, 1 second. Mr. Paracha, stop digressing. You are on the mat today and you are saying that a case should be registered. Okay. Colonel RSN has 1 second. Has Hindu sentiment been betrayed?
And also,
okay. Yes,
thousands and thousands of unsolved murders.
Mr. Paracha, yes, but bring them out. Bring them out. Don't talk in the air. We are not talking in the air. These are hard facts. I can put out those hard facts once again. I am not saying any of this. Colonel RSN, I want you to come in on this. A critical point in this debate has been reached. One of those. 1 second, gentlemen. Gentlemen, calm down. Mr. Paracha, okay, relax. Mr. Paracha, relax. We've heard your point. You're sounding like a broken record. You're constantly saying that other cases, bring them to us, we'll reopen them. We'll campaign for them. But till that doesn't happen, Till that doesn't happen, sit here and answer the question I'm asking you. 1 minute.
Rahul,
1 minute.
Hypothetically to say there were other cases also.
You do it.
Mr. Pracha can bring the details of the other
cases. It itself shows the complicity of these people with this Haji Mohammed.
Yes, there seems to be a larger trend here. Colonel RSN, I want to bring him in. Gentlemen, Colonel RSN comes into the debate. He's speaking for the first time. Give him the space. Okay, give him the space. Give Colonel RSN the space to make his point. Colonel RSN.
In thousands of murders.
Colonel RSN, has appeasement betrayed Hindu sentiment, and is this an isolated case? Excuse me, gentlemen. Okay, lower Paracha's fader.
Why are you raking those issues up?
3 strikes. Lower his fader. Yes, Colonel RSN, I want to ask you, sir, isolated case of appeasement, betraying Hindu sentiment, betraying the law of the land, betraying the faith.
You know, Rahul, I think there are some lawyers sitting here, and some of them are very accomplished lawyers. But for what I know little about law, I mean, the first thing is, the premise on which the Indian law is based, that counterfactual argument is no argument. It is a person who does not know law at all, who quotes that why don't you investigate this? He also murdered somebody. This is not should not form part of a of an informed debate. The second point is, I look at it totally. It was not a question of just 302 murder, etc. Here a man says that for 2.5 hours he continuously hurled bombs. Now, even if you were to, throw bombs at the rate of, 1 bomb every minute, it would amount to something like, 150 bombs in 2.5 hours. Now, was this man alone? And let me tell you, this was a time when this bomb culture had not arrived in a big way. It had just, I mean, you hardly heard, bombings, one odd bombing here and there. So 150 bombs. Look at the logistics of this man. Who supplied him this logistics? And this was a time in 92 when, when the Soviet thing had happened, and the jihad was on ascendant in our subcontinent. It perfectly coincides with what happens in Kashmir in the early 90s. So we all know, and Rahul, let me tell you this. You ask any intelligence officer, any officer with intelligence background, and some of the characters, political characters here, we know they were deeply into in deep nexus with the ISI at that point of time.
Deep nexus.
If you have this man interrogated, the way he's talking, I can tell you. You hand him over to me for interrogation, and in 1 hour I'll tell you what links he has got with the ISI.
Alimuddin Saab, I'll tell you something. Alimuddin Saab,
where did he get his bombs from?
Mr. Alimuddin Khan, I want to ask you basic question.
Where did he get these bombs from?
These are questions that need to be asked. Alimuddin Khan, let's bring him in. Alimuddin Khan, I want to ask you, sir, today.
Wait one minute. Hey, you don't smile. This man in strike. You don't smile. आपको एक चीज मैं बताना चाहता हूँ, आप हिंदी में कुछ बोल रहे थे कि आप इतिहास के पीछे क्यों जा रहे हैं? नहीं, सुनिए, अरे भाई एक मिनट.
I have seen that case happening in front of my eyes. Renuka Sastry was additional SP of Hyderabad at that time. I was having minute-to-minute report at that time. No bombs were hurled. Maybe gunshot was done. I don't know about that.
Just 1 minute.
Renuka Sastry ji has already deposed.
This is again a counterfactual argument.
What about appeasement of Ehsan Jafri?
Yeah. The nation knows me. The nation knows me, and the nation knows you. We leave it for the nation to decide.
Who coined Hindu terror? And why was it coined? Hindu terror was naked appeasement. Don't forget, Hindu terror, the term naked appeasement. No. Alimuddin Khan, who coined Hindu terror? Did UPA, did your bosses in the UPA not coin Hindu terror? What was that? That was not appeasement?
No.
What is that?
No, Rahul.
Tell me.
Rahul,
linking a whole religion with terrorism is not appeasement.
I'm telling you, sir. I am telling you with the confidence, and I am telling you the truth that no bomb was hurled that time. And you ask Rahul Shivshankar, you call her. You call her and ask her. She was at the and
हिंदुस्तान के मुसलमानों को महसूस हो जाएगा उस दिन बाबरी मस्जिद का सल्यूशन
you can have one arm for Pakistan.
जिस दिन आपको ये एहसास हो जाएगा कि जब एक रेपिस्ट बाहर यहाँ आया था आपके पूर्वज उनकी आत्मा रो रही थी उनकी आत्मा रो रही थी और जिस दिन इस बात का एहसास होगा उस दिन बाबरी मस्जिद का सल्यूशन अगर इंडोनेशिया होता तो जरूर निकल जाता.
Let me tell you, gentlemen, 1 second. Let me tell you.
Alamuddin sahab,
let me tell you. 1 second, gentlemen, go there, fade up. Let me tell you. I want to play out once again. 1 second, gentlemen, calm down. Jajaria, 1 minute. Calm down. Calm down, Mr. Jajaria. Calm down. Relax.
Yes,
now, Mr. Bhatia.
Clarify on counterfactual.
Okay, Jajaria, 1 minute.
Rahul, allow me to just make quick
1 minute.
points.
1 minute. I want to bring in Mr. Mohapatra and Rahul Sheikh.
Rahul,
1 minute.
Speak to everybody.
Mr. Mohapatra.
Please allow me, please.
Yeah.
See, my point, Rahul, is all this while, in the last 3 or 4 decades, a canard has been played out by the Congress and their allies like the Samajwadi Party and the BSP. A lie has been spread that everything started with the Sangh Parivar and the affiliated organization. I am grateful to your television channel that you have carried out this sting operation and have brought the truth out. And the person has the temerity and the audacity to tell you that he hurled bombs, and as Mr. Singh has pointed out, he would have hurled 150 bombs. And the administration of that day were mutinapped, did not do anything, and this person was let scot-free. And today he is one of the petitioners before the Honorable Supreme Court saying that the land should be handed over to them. What kind of a logic?
I'll tell you something, Mr. Mohapatra.
By his supporters,
look at the double standards here.
Rahul,
1 minute.
This is really a sad day for Indian democracy.
Gentlemen, look at the double standards.
Law has not been allowed to take its own course.
Okay, look at the double standards. This man is freed, allowed to go, confesses today. Some people are calling it some extrajudicial confession. God alone knows what that means. But you have a situation. You have a situation where this man turns around and says, oh, L.K. Advani and several others who were let off, they must be booked. And he goes and he gets them once again nailed in the Babri cases. So they were let off, but he cries foul. A man who's benefited, a man who's got off. Look at the double standards. Now I want to ask Rahul Sheikh. Rahul Sheikh, Samajwadi Party leader with us here. Yeah. You benefited, sir, an individual who claims that he has blood of Hindus on his hands. And your government, all this while, was in the forefront prosecuting Kar Sevaks and others from the Sangh and the BJP. Isn't that, sir, duplicity? Isn't that betrayal?
Rahul, this is the first time I'm seeing on television stories being cooked up. Yeah, there is a colonel. Let me speak.
No, 1 second. Who's cooking up? No. You made a charge against our journalism. Haji Mehboob. Why would Haji Mehboob implicate himself? Why would he cook this up?
Have the patience to hear me out.
Your journalism
150 bombs were just invented on this channel right now. Okay, you're talking about duplicity.
So he said he's continuously. I'm just. चलो 50 बम मान लिया 150 नहीं 50 मान लिया
इस चैनल पर बैठकर
हर 5 मिनट पे एक बम
I am not going to tolerate something like this.
अरे मैं बोल रहा हूँ वो खुद बोल रहा है
Give the witness to me for 1 hour.
आपको आपके बम के क्वांटिटी से क्यों इतना चिंता है?
What are you talking about?
Why are you so upset about the quantity of bombs?
I am not upset. I don't.
He couldn't be throwing one bomb every half an hour.
Sorry, I don't take you seriously. The kind of...
No, I don't take you seriously.
You don't take Hindu sentiment seriously either. You don't take Hindu sentiment seriously either, and it is pretty well expressed from your nonchalant, from your nonchalant answer. Your cavalier attitude.
2.5 hours he threw 5 bombs.
Maybe, one second.
Distinguish people between Hindus and Muslims. Rahul,
let's not. No. I am not distinguishing, sir. This man was. Haji Mehboob is.
Muslim appeasement, Hindu sentiment.
I was absolutely
You tell me, your government, sir, let me tell you, let me give you some facts here. I don't talk. No.
Yes.
I do not talk.
Their soul died the day Babur came to India.
One second.
Your forefathers also.
Colonel RSN, 1 second, please. 1 second. Let me come in here. Jararia, 1 second. Yeah. Listen to what I have to say. Please, okay. I'm going to quote some facts now.
Okay, please.
Since you have accused me, Mr. Rai Sheikh, of cooking up stories. 1 second, Mr. Bhatia. Let me bring some facts.
Not you. I said the colonel.
No. Forget the colonel. Forget the colonel. The colonel is a participant. 1 minute. Forget the colonel. There is a man who has made an extra constitutional, or whatever they call it, confession. Extrajudicial.
Okay.
He says that Mulayam Singh got him off the hook for murder. Of who? Of Kar Sevaks, of Hindus. And this is not just... 1 minute. Jajaria, 1 second. You're hopping into this debate. Relax. 1 minute. Here is what I need to put out. Mulayam has come out and said, and this is a quote that I'm going to read out from the Hindu newspaper, August 27, 2016, and the Daily Pioneer, February 16th. 2 different quotes. Pioneer quote first. In 1990, this is Mulayam Singh, I had assured Muslims that my government would protect the Babri Mosque whether my government survived or was toppled. And I protected the mosque. For that, I was compelled to order police firing on Kar Sevaks to protect the mosque.
So what is wrong with that statement, Rahul?
1 second.
Okay, please.
Let's listen. Let's listen.
Please.
Let's listen.
I'm very patient.
Yeah. I hope. The Hindu, August 27, 2016. I regret giving orders to shoot Kar Sevaks at Ayodhya, says your boss.
Okay.
My decision to order firing at Kar Sevaks was to save Muslim minorities. This decision was needed to keep the faith of Muslims in this country intact. 16 persons died in the incident on that day, but Mr. Singh said even if 30 had died, he would have issued the same order as there was no other option available then. He goes on to recall the protests and condemnations he faced in the aftermath. Now, sir, the problem is the duality here. You said, what is the problem? I'll tell you. He says to keep the faith of Muslims in this country intact. Now, Mr. Sheikh,
Rahul,
Mr. Sheikh, 1 second. Mr. Sheikh, 1 minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
What have we exposed? We've exposed a main petitioner saying very clearly that he actually fired and threw bombs at Kar Sevaks. There are eyewitnesses who said that more than one person, one Kar Sevak died. Now tell me, sir, does Mulayam Singh not have any considerations for the faith of Hindus in this country? He had faith, Muslims in this country, consideration for, but not Hindus? You tell me, sir, why?
Now, first of all, you're taking...
Are we living in Pakistan?
If you're finished, then I'll speak.
Send all of us to Pakistan, Rahulji. All Indians send to
Rahul,
Pakistan,
if you're finished, can I make a submission?
That is what Colonel RSN Singh want to do.
Can I speak?
हाँ बोलिए सर.
No. मैं तो अलमुद्दीन साहब बोलता हूँ कि हमारा डीएनए एक है, अब हमारे भाई हैं.
सर डीएनए एक है तो इस
आप हमारे भाई हैं, हमारा खून का रिश्ता है, इसलिए बाबर हम दोनों का दुश्मन है.
बनवाते हैं ना, बीजेपी तो नहीं बनवाएगी.
हमारा हम भाई हैं, डीएनए एक है, हम भाई हैं, बाबर हम दोनों का दुश्मन था, यही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ.
Rai Sheikh, let me ask you a question. Was the keeping the faith of Hindus in this country intact not a priority also for Mulayam Singh? Or was he so blinded by appeasement politics and a Muslim vote bank that he forgot?
Rahul, if a government comes out and says that I am here to build faith of the minorities, you see that appeasement. You feel that by saying that he is protecting or rather trying to build faith among Muslims, he is disregarding the faith of Hindus. That is your inference. When he says something like that, he is trying to build the faith of the minorities who at that time felt that the Babri Masjid demolition is going to cause a lot of chaos in the country. What has he done wrong? And you take out this statement out of what, 92?
No, that was in
No, can I come in, Rahul, at that juncture?
Okay, Mr. Bhatia wants to come in on that. Mr. Bhatia,
I'll explain where the problem lies.
Where does the problem lie? Mr. Bhatia, where does the problem lie? Face them off. Where does the problem lie, Mr. Bhatia?
I'll tell you. Yeah. The problem lies when an unfortunate incident happens and politicians, be it the Congress, Samajwadi Party or the BSP, they do appeasement politics and try to divide the society on communal lines. Any constitutional authority, be it a Prime Minister or the Chief Minister of the state, is duty bound to act as per the Constitution of India. You don't see Hindu and Muslims while you are acting or giving orders. All that you see is there should be law and order that should prevail in the state and human lives should be protected. But when you try to politicize the order that you gave, that I was protecting the faith of the Muslims, that is appeasement politics. And enough of appeasement politics from the SP and the BSP. That is why people have no faith left in these parties. Second, the statement of Haji Mehboob is very serious. In one of the portions of the confession, he says, all over the world there are more Muslims, as if he is trying to threaten the Indians who live in India. What kind of a logic is it? This shows the Sikh mentality of Mr. Haji Mehboob and also the politicians today on your panel who cannot condemn such a statement where he says he has taken and murdered human life.
Mr. Bhatia, you are part of this appeasement.
Condemn the statement.
Unequivocal condemnation of Mr. Haji Mehboob. Mr. Haji Mehboob, please don't go on his name or his religion. Condemn his statement because he has taken a human life.
Okay, condemn the statement.
Rahul, I condemn every statement that talks about violence.
No, so then Mr. Raishek, why didn't you act?
Tell this to Mr. Bhatia.
Why didn't you
not
act?
every statement.
Why didn't you act?
Tonight we are discussing the statement of Mr. Haji Mehboob. Say that he should be booked under law. He has no right to move the court because he does not have clean hands.
That's right.
A litigant cannot play with law and the court.
Today Murli Manoj Joshi, today Uma Bharti may not be in trouble.
It is before the court.
I'm telling you, they may not be in trouble. Had this individual been impugned for what he was, they would not have been in trouble today. The case may not have been opened.
Every statement is to be condemned. What about the statement of Mr. Haji Mehboob?
जिस rhythm पे बात कर रहे हो, you have been part of this appeasement.
We leave it at that. No, that's not defense. We leave it at that.
I believe
we leave it at 10 o'clock. One big disclosure. An eyewitness will appear, and he will nail Haji Mehboob. We hand this over to